Hello everyone, welcome to number 12. Sorry, had to do that. This is going to be lesson number 12 of BeginnersC++, and today we're going to be going over file input and output, primarily because it scares the bejesus out of people, and I really don't know why. File input and output is actually very simple and it's super common sense, and yet people just don't seem to have that respect for it. So let's talk a little bit about it. We're going to start by including two libraries, string and fstream, and then we are going to create a couple of variables. Well, first things first, I want to do a quick sanity review for you guys. Cout works like this. Cout, pass it a string, semicolon. Cin, take some input from the console to a variable, right? Easy, easy peasy. Passing stuff to the console, bringing stuff in from the console. Fairly simple. And in our case, the console is the DOS window that comes up. So when we consider that, we also have to consider what a string would do, or what would happen with a file. So I've created a file over here. It's just very simple text file. You can create a file by going to Resource Files and Solution Explorer. If you close Solution Explorer, you can get it back by going to View, then clicking Solution Explorer. Going to Resource Files, Add, New Item. Under Utility, Text File. I named mine text.txt with a capital T. So to read in from a text file is actually fairly straightforward. So what you're going to do first is you're going to make a string, and we're going to call this file name. We're going to set that equal to text, needed my quotes, text.txt. We're going to make a second one of these variables that we're not going to use right away, called filename2, and it's going to point to text2.txt, which doesn't exist quite yet. And lastly, we're going to make a third string value, and we're just going to call it str equals, and we're going to make it set equal to an empty string. So let's assume that we can take a quick look at this file. There's 6 words. There's 4 lines. These are things that we can kind of see. Let me go ahead and capitalize all these words just because. And we want to make some variables because fstream doesn't have values made. Like, you know how we have cout and cin? That's for istream, right? But there's no variables in fstream that have that definite name. So we can make them. And in this case, we're going to make a ofstream variable, and we're going to call it fout. We're going to make an ifstream variable called fin. So in this case, of, output file stream, ifstream, input file stream. And our variables work exactly the same way. They need a little bit more direction maybe than our counterparts, but they work almost exactly the same. And let me show you. So let's do this real quick. I'm going to show you a simple example of how to open a file. So we're going to do fin.open file name. That's how you open a file. I mean, it's very simple. And let's say that I want to take everything in this file and I want to display it on the screen. 1 word per line, breaking on white space or new line, because new line counts as white space to the interpreter. So what we're going to do is we're going to do while fin goes into string, cout, string, end l. So in this case, let's create a word counter. Int word count equals 0. Perfect. We're going to add word count plus plus here. So the logic is each time this hits, this is going to pass whatever's in the file into string until it hits white space. When it hits white space, we know that it's the end of a word, so we increase this word count. So we're going to do at the end, cout, the number of words in this file was word count, and del. So we're going to give this a quick run, and in this case, just remember, file name 2 is not doing anything yet because it doesn't exist. Fout is not doing anything yet because we don't use it. The only thing that's happening is we're using fin to open text.txt, which says cat, dog, bird again on separate lines, and it's going to just read until that fin is no longer true. So we give that a run. Cat, dog, bird, number of words in this file was 6. Awesome. Excellent. So that worked exactly how we wanted it to the very first try. So there's little things here that, you know, maybe we don't want. Maybe we don't want to just break it into individual words. Maybe we have whole sentences that we want to pick up and we want to go line by line. And so the answer to how we do that is fairly simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this example in here because I want you guys to see it, but I am going to comment it out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to read lines. Now remember when we were doing for our strings, we did getLine, cin, string, right? Well, coincidentally, it's exactly the same here. We do while, getLine, fin, comma, string. Same exact thing. And that's going to read our file line by line. So in this case, I'm going to create something called line count equals 0. So in this case, I'm going to do cout str and del line count plus plus. So for each time it performs a get line, we're going to increase the line counter. So in this case, I'm going to comment that line out, and I'm going to copy paste it, change the word words to line, and change the variable line count to word count. And we give this a quick run. And as you can see, the number of lines is 4. First line stays intact this time because it grabs the whole line. It doesn't care how many words or blank spaces are in it. So that's perfect again. You know, again, this is very simple stuff where we're already familiar with getLine and we're already familiar with cin. None of this should really be striking you as new material. I mean, we're working with fin rather than cin, but that's because we named it that way. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys was how to output to a file. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually recomment this, and I'm going to comment out line count as well because I don't really want that right now. Oops, commented out a line rather than geez. Okay. Oh my God, what's going on right now? There we go. So anyways, we're going to uncomment this, and rather than couting it, I'm going to show you guys something, and this time we're going to do a fout.open. Also, one thing we should be doing when we're done with fin, we should do fin.close. So yeah, that's moderately important. Fout.open, and that's going to be opening file name 2. And when we do that, rather than doing this, cout, what we're going to do is an fout. Perfect, right? Easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy paste this whole thing right here. This this fin, and this time we're just going to move it down the way, and we're going to change this to cout and we're going to do file name 2 this time. And so we're going to give it a run. We get cat dog bird, as we would expect to do, except this time we have read it from file name 2. Now, let's do one other thing before we do that. We can get rid of this word count, because we don't care about that. And I am going to uncomment out the word count line here. And so what I want to do is I want to do if string is not equal to, let's remove bird from our file. String is not equal to bird, and I want to do that f out. And if it is equal to bird, I don't want to do anything. So there's not going to be a companion else statement to that. So when I run this file now, we get cat dog, and it went down to 4 words in the file. So that is how we can use simple if statements to remove words or lines or anything from a file. All we need to do is match it inside of this string. So for now, I'm going to leave it at this. I've shown you guys how to take, values in from a file, pass them into strings. Very soon I'm going to be showing you guys how to convert strings into other types, so that's going to be pretty exciting. If you guys have any questions on anything that we've covered in this video, or any other video up to this point, please do let me know in the comments down below. Preferably, let's do the comments on the forums, as I'm more active there than I am on YouTube, because comments that are limited to 500 characters don't get anything done. And you not showing me code examples isn't going to help either. So if you need help, pop over to the BeginnersCPP forums. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, like, share, favorite, add me as a friend, follow me, and I will see you guys all next time. Peace.